We've reached the final steps of this work, and what we're going to do now is open our PHP file. So if you look within the files in your downloads, there's a folder called PHP file. Let's open that file in Dreamweaver and talk about it a little bit. So if it opens in design, obviously you're not going to see anything, but you have to go to code to see the code that's inside this page. So what you want to make sure, this is a PHP file, PHP language with if or else echo statements and so forth. So what you want to make sure here is that name, email, message are written exactly the same way as you did in your form when we just built it together. So these should match. The other thing you should check for is the to email. So right here it says my email, mzachary@msu.edu. You can change this to your email, and then the subject from Penny Black, you can keep that. Okay, so this is the first thing we wanted to do, just look at the PHP file. Remember that the PHP file is necessary for the form to work. In other words, when a user submits information in the form and they hit the submit button, you are supposed to receive an email, and that happens through the PHP file. To make a long story short, so the PHP file must reside in the server, and your server must handle PHP, and that's another story we'll discuss in a couple of seconds. Okay, so if everything looks good here, we have name, email, message exactly written as in the form, and we have your email, in my case, my email from Penny Black. We're all good. We can go ahead and go back to the contact page, so the contact.html, and what we want to do is select the form. So click on this red border, and you know you've selected the form if the properties panel says, you know, form ID. Otherwise, you might select the table by mistake, right? The table is still there. It's right here. It's just invisible because we removed the border. So make sure to select the form and not the table, for example. Okay, so what we want to do now is where it says action, we want to point this contact.html file to the PHP file, okay? Because the PHP is necessary to process the information that the user enters and in turn allow an email to go to you or to me. Okay, so in action we want to point this file called contact.html to the PHP file. So we type in the path, that's what we do, https://www.msu.edu/user/your username. So in my case, my username. Don't forget the word user before your username. And then the folder Penny Black. So I'm assuming you will create a folder called Penny Black. And then /form mail.php. Formmail.php is the name of the PHP file. Okay, so it has to be written exactly as it has been saved. If you want to save this file as form.php, mail.php, whatever you want to call it, just make sure you give it the same name in the action text field. So formmail.php. Okay, so we're good, and now we have to save this. I went ahead and saved it, and now we're going to upload all this work to the server. And let's go ahead and do that. You must have done this before with the French Apps website, so you're familiar with this, but let's repeat the whole thing. So launch transmit or CyberDoc if you have CyberDoc, and then the server name is afs.msu.edu, my username and my password, and connect. Okay, I want to find the web folder, double click, and create a Penny Black folder. Why a Penny Black folder? Because that's what I typed right here. And it should be spelled exactly as I've spelled it in the action text field. It so happens that I have this from before, so from a different class. So let me go ahead and delete it and create a new folder called Penny Black. Okay, so I'm going to create a new folder, Command-Shift-N, called Penny Black, typed exactly as I have in the Actions panel, in the Actions text field in the contact.html page, and then open this folder. And now be careful what to upload, okay? Because it's fine to upload, there's space in your server, but it's not really smart to just upload anything, especially if things are not necessary. For example, this folder called content. We don't need a Word document in the server. It's not making the website work, so it's just unnecessary, okay? I want to upload step by step just so you see what I'm uploading. Okay, I'll start with the About and Contact pages. Hold down the Command key, the Fall, the Index, the Spring. So these are my HTML pages, okay? Drag them and drop them. They upload very quickly because they are HTML files. Content I don't need. The CSS folder I need it the way it is. You shouldn't displace the location of lightbox.css because we have the path through the CSS folder. So you keep the CSS folder, you keep the images folder, you keep the JS folder. So let's upload those. Okay, and you see here the loading bar. I'm going to skip the PHP file for a moment. I'll get back to it. I need the scripts folder, Spry assets, and the Swift. Okay, so you obviously don't need the steps folder either. This folder is just for you to revise the steps of how we built this website in case you need steps as opposed to this video. Okay, so scripts, Spry assets, and Swift. I'm not going to touch those. This is what Dreamweaver created for me. And if I change the location of anything, it's not going to be able to read the jQuery files, the JavaScript files. What's left for me to upload is the PHP file. Now, for organization purposes, I placed this formmail.php file in a PHP file folder, just for it to be organized. But in the path here, in the action path, we have pennyblack/formmail.php, which means this file called formmail.php resides in a folder called pennyblack. It should not reside in a folder called PHP file, okay? So if you upload this folder the way it is, PHP file, you just uploaded, it's not gonna work, okay? So you just take this PHP file on its own, drag it and drop it, because that's the path. It's supposed to be inside a pennyblack folder, not inside a PHP file folder as far as what we typed in the action. Okay, so that's very, very important. So this is all we need. We have our work on the server, and now let's go ahead and go online. So www.msu.edu/user/username, so my username, in your case your username, Zachary /pennyblack is the folder we just created, and then you can hit enter because the index.html page will load. Okay, so this is it. This is the work we did together. It's beautiful. Everything's fine. Everything's working. And if I go to contact, this is my form. Okay, now let me show you what's going to happen. Let me go ahead and enter my name, Maral, my email at msu.edu, message is great, class. Okay, and it typed the character count for me, and I hit the submit button. Okay, so first of all, two things to pay attention to. when we hit the submit button, the contact page loaded again. So, this is silly because there should be a thank you page that's loading. Once the user clicks on the submit button, they should receive a thank you message. So we should work on that. The second thing is I'm expecting an email. So let's go and see if indeed I received an email from this user. And in fact, I don't have an email. Okay, there's a problem, and let's see what that is. The problem is the following. I uploaded my work to the MSU server, and the MSU server spaces do not handle PHP for students or faculty. Okay, so when you upload your work and try to work with the form and send a message to yourself, or one of your friends will send a message to you, will fill this text area, you will not receive the message because the server, the MSU server, does not handle PHP. Once you graduate or while you're still at school but you purchase your own server space, make sure to purchase server space that handles PHP in order for this form to work. Now, I have my own personal website, and I'm going to show you how this will work because my own personal server space does handle PHP. So this is my website. This is my personal design website of my personal freelance work and previous work. And I uploaded my work to this area, to this server, which is not an MSU server. It's my own server. So I'm going to enter Penny Black. And I went ahead before recording this video. I uploaded the work to my server space inside of a folder called Penny Black. So if I hit enter, this is the work, this is my contact, and now let me try to see if the form is going to work. What a wonderful class this is. Okay, and hit the submit button. And it says thank you, so we will build this thank you page together. Now let me go to my email and check if I received that message. There, I found it. Okay, so it says subject from Penny Black because that's what we entered in the PHP, right? It says exactly what you've typed, from Penny Black. It also says the name of the person is Maral, that's what I typed. The email is whatever I typed, and the comments is what a wonderful class this is, exactly what I typed. So this email is working. I am receiving an email because my server space, my personal server space, handles the PHP file, without which the form will not work, without which the form is just there, like an aesthetic, just for aesthetic reasons, but it doesn't work. Okay, so make sure to have server spaces that handle PHP once you purchase your own domain and so forth. Now let's go ahead and build the thank you page. For the thank you page, we are going to just duplicate the contact.html page and call it thank you. Okay. And then open thankyou.html in Dreamweaver. And let's make a few changes. We can get rid of this entire table and the entire form. We don't need those. And then instead of contact, say thank you. And here you can write a message like, thank you for your message. We will get back to you shortly. And that's it. You save this file, and now when in the contact.html page, when the user fills the form, they click on the submit button, the thank you page will load with this thank you message. That's because that relationship has been established in the PHP file, as you can see here It says thank you.html. So that's it. And obviously don't forget to go ahead and save and upload your thank you.html page to the server.